Hello, welcome aboard. Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and here we are now back with, it's that time of the month again, and we've got the Lancaster bomber B.III, the Dambuster from Hachette, and we've got four parts here, so we've got 63, 64, 65 and 66. Now, as usual, what we can do is look at the back of these packs. Now, I know from the end of last month that in here we have a motor, so this motor is going to drive the spindle in this engine. Okay, so hopefully we won't have any troubles with that one like we have in the past. And then in 64 we've got undercarriage doors, and we've got the internal framing, and we've also got new hinges for the other side as well. So if you remember, we had problems with getting the undercarriage to go up and down on the other side. Well, apparently these hinges will sort that. And then coming in issue 65, in issue 65 even, we have one side of the engine nacelle and the undercarriage bay, and then in 66 we've got the other side of the undercarriage bay, and then in here, in the next one, we're going to get another propeller. So basically all of this is stuff we have done before, and you know, how much of it do we need to see? But what we'll do, we'll have a look at the magazines anyway. We will do this electric motor for the prop, because as you know, we've had problems in the past. Everybody has, not just me. We've had problems in the past with the propellers not wanting to turn because of this crazy design where they got the motor here going through a shaft, going through the gearbox and driving the propeller, whereas they could have just put the motor in the engine. I don't know. Maybe they say the engine's too small, but yes, the engine is too small. The engine should be a lot bigger for 32nd scale. But anyway, there we go. So going into the magazine as per usual, we've got all the customer service and everything, details there. There's a link down below this video where you can go and check out a YouTube page, and you can see the development model built up, and you can find out how to order and start one of these yourself. So these are all the parts we're getting in here. As you can see, we've got firewalls and motors and everything, and some screws. So that's the instructions on how to get it all going. And then we're going to add all that to the undercarriage bay, which we got here. So the Lancaster Mark III. Powered by American-built Merlin engines, the Lancaster Mark III was one of the most effective variants of the legendary British bomber, yes. A lot of people say you can tell the Mark III because of its paddle propeller blades, not the pointy ones. That's not true. The Mark III was basically a Lancaster with those engines in, so that was it really. Some famous old nighttime photographs there. Packard, the full production of the Packard began in 1942, and by the end of the war, 55,873 Merlins had been built in the United States, each at a cost of $25,000 to produce. Wow. So there we go. And then we got the Heinkel HE177, which was a funny looking thing. There are a couple of kits available of this if you want to get it. It's a very strange looking aircraft. It's just like a cigar with a ball on the front. Very sort of B-29-ish, if you like. Although nearly 1,200 Heinkel HE177 bombers were built, the aircraft never fulfilled its potential. Indeed, it was so accident prone, it earned the name Flaming Coffin. So there you go. So that's the magazine for this month. Not a lot to talk about, but let's have a look at what we've got in here. As usual, we'll check our parts. Now, I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't know if we're going to go into 60. This is 64, isn't it? So this is 63 or 64. This is 63. So I don't know if we'll go into 64 or not. So I think 64 deserves its own episode because it's the replacement of the screws and everything. And as usual with these Hachette kits, we've got lots of lovely little resealable bags that we can use for other little projects and stuff. This is cool. We've got a bag here with screws in. So we'll get those out here. We'll have one extra. These are BP screws. And then another little baggie here with all these bulkhead parts in, which is pretty cool. If you're building one of these and you're enjoying it, please let me know. If you have any questions, any concerns about the build, just let me know. So we've got all the parts. We've got those three plastic parts across the top. We've got the motor and we've got our screws. So all good. It's all plastic screws, so there's no tapping to be done here. So we've got to retrieve this piece. Now this piece I just stuck on the back of the engine rather than try and save it, and this is going to go onto the front of the motor, and as you can see, one side's got a sort of a D shape. Let me get the light on now that we're not looking at the magazine. One side's got a D-shaped hole in it, as you can see there, on one side has a star pattern in it, so that's going to press onto the front of the motor just like that. Check it turns freely. If it doesn't, just give it a little tug, pull it back a touch. So there's our motor. We got a plug on the end there and it says C. Okay, so what you can do here, if you want to tidy things up, you can put that around there like around a screwdriver, and then pull the wire and wrap it around just like so, keeping it level just like that, and that will give you a far tidier little package rather than having wires hanging around everywhere. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get this motor and we are going to pass it through and into here. So that wire I've just coiled up nicely has got to now pass through there. So basically, I'll pull that back straight again. So these come out this way, so I think this is symmetrical, is it not? Yes, it is by the look of it. So I don't think it really matters which way in that goes. We give that a good push, make sure it's back in properly. Wind that wire up again should you want to. And then this shows the motor fitted into the housing with the sheath 55i in place. Okay, so there we go. So we've got the wires coming out of the top there. Right, so now what we're going to do is fix this motor to the back of this firewall. Now this is where the problems came in before, I think. So what we're going to do is grab a screw, grab a BP screw, put one in there, and I'll grab another one here. There we go, we can tighten that down and check, yeah, everything's turning freely. Every time you do something, just check everything turns freely. If you remember, the issue in the past was when you tighten these up, it pushed too hard on the back of this shaft, which locked everything up. So hopefully now we won't have that issue. So we're going to take this is our mounting now, so that's going to go on like that. We've got 3 little lugs in there, look. We've got 3 pin lugs on there, they're going to line up and go in like that. And then we're going to take 3 BP screws and screw them together just like so. I'm not going to worry about going around and tighten them diagonally or anything because it's all sort of located in place. It could be glued if you wanted to, it's just screwed for convenience and speed, I should imagine. I'm not aware of any. Oh yes, I was thinking it's the other car I'm doing that you don't have any screws, isn't it? Right, so we've got that wire trapped in there. That'll be okay. Right, so that's coming out like that. I'm just wondering actually if I should pull that wire. Maybe it's holding this back. So I'm going to pull this plastic back a bit and pull that wire across so that it's in that groove, and rather than. There we go, that's better. So make sure it's not trapped in there. And then that's how it's going to look. And then we're going to come over the page and we are going to slot this. This is our undercarriage we built up in one of the previous books. And we're going to put this down over the top, just like so, onto those 2 lugs like that. And then we can grab a screw, not 27 of them. Down in there, and then another one here. Go down in there. So now we've got our motor mounted to our undercarriage, all ready to go. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take our engine, make sure that D is aligned. So we'll put it that way round. And then that is literally going to push into there, just like so. Now I don't glue these engines, okay? I'm not sure what they say. They tell you to use a little glue to hold the parts in place. I don't want to glue them because we may have to move the engine slightly to fit in the nacelle nicely, and the nacelle will actually hold the engine in. There's no need to glue it, and as we can see, it all turns quite freely. So we could test that if we wanted to. We can put it on a little test board here. So we'll plug it into this one. Okay, turn our test board on. Yeah, and we can see that we do have a problem. This is actually for the undercarriage, guys. If I do this, if I plug this one into the undercarriage cable, you can see there that our undercarriage is working. However, I'm guessing it must be lower voltage or something, perhaps. Take that one out of there. Make sure you don't pull on the cables. Make sure you pull on the actual connector itself. God, bloody, that's tight. Right. So yeah, it looks like this motor's binding up slightly. Again, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, I think. Perhaps pull it out a touch. It feels like it should be fine. But, whatever. Right, so there's our finished work. So that's our part 63 completed. We got a spare screw there, which is a BP screw, so I'll find a BP bag for it to go in. In fact, what I'll do is the same as I've done with the other one I'm doing, just put all the screws in a jar, because, you know, I've got loads of bags in here with all the different screw types in them. It seems a bit silly. Right, back in a minute. Alright, so what I've done, I've been and got the original battery pack. If we take the motor out, we'll take the engine off, should I say, I can plug this in here, and you can hear that's running. But as soon as I connect to this, I mean, this all seems to spin very, very freely. You know, I don't understand what's going on here. But here we are, back at square one again, and let's get that deconnected correctly. Okay, I could connect it up now, and lo and behold, it doesn't go. But if I move I can, depending on where I position it, I can get it to just start to move. I'm not going to mess around with it now. It's for another day. Right, so I guess so if we put the engine cover and everything on, we'll never get it going, will we? I just why on earth didn't they just put the motor in there? This is what I don't understand. You know, the motor is probably small enough to fit even inside this tiny engine. Just put the motor in there and have it driving the propeller directly. Why does it have to be so complex with this extended shaft going through and everything, and a bearing at the front and everything that's just offering loads and loads of resistance? I really don't know how we are going to get this to work, because it just, I don't know, it beggars belief why it won't turn. I mean, it spins easily enough. Maybe I should put a prop on it and have a bit of a flywheel effect. But there we go. You can see, I doubt you can see, but I'm moving the engine around, and in certain positions it starts to turn. It's there we go, you can probably hear that. Maybe I'll get a propeller and try that. Back in a minute. Okay, so I can sort of manipulate things and get it to just, there we go. So it will turn. It could be with more voltage up it or something, it'll go, I don't know. But yeah, you can see it's increasing in speed. It's having its flywheel effect. But surely it's just going to burn the motor out. I don't know. Let's have a look at pack 64. Okay, so here we have pack 64. We'll do this as one video and then we'll do the other two as another one. So pack 64, first thing we do is have a look at the magazine as usual. We've got all the stuff down there, and here's all our bits and pieces. And the hinges fitted in issue 828 are replaced, so we're going to be replacing those. And this is what's going to tell us how to do that repair, take it all apart and put it back together again. So, Airfield Crash Crews, these guys did some sterling work. Excuse me, that's just the hinge. Damaged aircraft and aero engines were often returned to service after a major overhaul. You see these guys working out in the field in all weathers, wind and rain, night and day. Many women served in the ambulance service during World War II. This particular ambulance crew is carrying out a training exercise. I believe the Queen got involved in this, didn't she, as well? Apparently, these K2 ambulances, you didn't see the RAF use them a lot, which I find hard to believe, but I've read that somewhere. And then Handley Page Hampton, beautiful. Airfix have got a nice little kit. Apparently the Vallum 172nd kit is very nice. And ICM are due to bring out a 148 scale this year. So there it is. This day bomber had poor manoeuvrability and inadequate defensive armament, and so suffered greatly at the hands of the Luftwaffe. And there we are. The narrow fuselage meant crap crew conditions. The ventral turret above could house twin guns, but they did not improve defensive capability. And there we are. So that's, you can see there what's coming in issue 65. We've got the engine, the cells. So what we'll do is we'll combine 65 and 66 into one video because we've done it all before. So as usual, we'll get the light on because we finished with the magazine. Get the magazine over here. We'll have a look at what we've got in our parts. So we've got a little box for recycling. We've got loads of little bags. So here we go. All our bags of parts. So we'll chuck our bags down over there. We've got some hinges here. That's got a L on it, so it's left and right, I'm guessing. Okay, so we'll leave the rights in their bags and we'll take the lefts out. We've got, this has been sellotaped up for some unknown reason. So obviously they've run out of the smaller bags, haven't they? I've got hundreds over here if you want them, Hachette. That's what they ought to do, is have a bag returns system, and then we won't have so many, because I bet there's millions being thrown away. Okay, so we've got our screws, hinges, doors, and there we go. So, right, let's have a look in here. So we're going to take one of the spring hinges, 64F and 64E. Why didn't they call them 64L and 64R? So 64E is port side of landing gear bay. So that's the left side of the landing gear bay. Okay, so these are the lefts. So this is (64E) and 64F. Well, according to that drawing, that is 64F. Yeah, that side's higher. You can see here. This side's lower, that side's higher. That's 64F. And they're saying that's the starboard side, which is the right. And that's bagged as left because these are the right. So let's get these out. These are in the right bag, okay. Bag marked R. And they are 64E. I hope you'd agree. 64E. Alright, so these are 64E and these are 64F. So the left and right doesn't make any sense at all. Port is left, starboard is right. Right, take one of the spring hinges, 64F. So F was the right, wasn't it? Which is this one here, they're saying. I'm really confused now because they got 64F, which is listed as right, and 64E, which is listed as left, and they're actually the wrong way around. So what we've got to do is just do what works. So we've got a door here. So this is the left door. So that's got to go that way round. So is that correct or not? We'll soon see. That doesn't look right to me. Put that one back there and we'll try one of these. I'm afraid we're just going to have to look at what I'm doing, guys, and go from there, because I may be confusing you or not, I don't know. I wish, why don't they show us a drawing of how they look when they're fitted, because they're clearly so different. So we'll put that one in there, and we'll put that one in there, and if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Okay. Right, so they are leaning slightly forward. They could have easily shown us how they should look when they're on, because as you can see, if I put that one in there, you can see it's totally different. It's at a completely different angle. So we're going to take our undercarriage assembly and fit the wire hinge to the inside of the wheel bay on the starboard side. So we're going to get this wheel down for a start. So we'll switch this on. We'll plug this in to here. And then down comes the undercarriage. So we may as well take this engine off because it's just going to get in the way. So this door is going to go in this side. I'm not sure. That spring sits like that, yeah. That one's going to go. Have I even got this the right way round? I assume I have. Okay, so that's going like that, that's going like that. Right, what I'm going to do is have a look at my other one, which is already built up into the wing, see how that looks. Alright, so I think I've found a better way to instruct you to do this. Basically, I think, I'll tell you in this video if I'm wrong, the longer side faces forward. This is at the forward end of the door. So the fatter is the back of the door, the thinner is the front. So the longer side, you can see we've got a long side and a short side. The longer side goes forward with that kink that way around. Okay, so now that door is going to go in there like so. It's just going to clip in just like I did the last time we did it. Alright, now I don't know where the sun is to put both in, because as soon as you start to add these, the other one will just fall out. So what we're going to do is put this in like so. Okay, and then using 2 DP screws, we're going to grab our small screwdriver. We will screw this into here. I'm just going to do the screw up very lightly in case we have to swap them over. Because as you can see, I am absolutely and totally confused as to which side is which. And I've got no confidence in my guesswork whatsoever, but I'm absolutely sure that they were in the wrong bags. There we go, so there's our doors like that. And then basically what we're going to do is clip these hinges, these actuators into the doors like so, like that. and then the same on this side. Just push that ball into its socket like that, and that's the door now located. Okay, and now they're going on to tell us how to do the other side. So let's see how this works. I'm not turning the camera off, so you can see I'm not doing any editing. That's switched off. That's going to plug into there, just like so. That's switched on. I'm going to hold this upside down. I didn't turn the battery on, that's the problem. Right. Well, there we go, it works. There we go. Happy with that. At least something works, eh? Right, so that's that one done. So, let me have a quick pause a minute, have a read of this, and I'll be straight back. Alright, so what we're going to do now is take our wing. Here it is. Okay, we've got all our cables all tied up out of the way. And we're going to remove these screws here. Okay, so there's 4 of those. We'll do one side at a time. There we go. So that's come out like that. And then we should be able to just my little tweezers, should be able to pop that out of there. These appear to be a tighter fit than those others. Probably because the nacelles are on holding them. Right, so that'll come down like that. And then we're going to disconnect that from its socket. Okay, just lever it like that. And then we can look at this door and we can see that the hinges are a fatter wire. So that is this side. No, that is that side. So this one is this one. Okay, so we're going to take that out of there. We're going to put that one in there. Just like that, so you can see longer side forward. Just look at it on the other side. And then we're going to push this up in here, which is going to be awkward for me to film so you can see it, because if you can see it, I can't. So I'm just going to push that up into there. I go over the top. Clip that down over the top. Then put these screws back in. Pull that back together. There we go, and then we'll clip that. Let's turn this over. We'll get this here and we'll clip that into there. Oops, I've just pulled the spring off its hinge. Just pull that wire back. Go on, go into the hole. Oh, come on. There we are. You can see they're a lot more floppy now than they were. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the same on the other side and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've done the repair and I've got it connected up. If you want to test yours, it's connector J. So as you can see now, it does go up and down. Okay, the only problem now is the doors are just so floppy. You can see that one's gone underneath that support there. And it's got under there at the back. Oh, gosh. You see, that won't let it down because this door's popped underneath this tab at the back here. Because they're so floppy. You can see the doors now are so floppy that they just go where they want to go. If I close that down, you can see how that's just closed. Or if I can bend that so that it puts a bit more bias inward at the back. Yeah, that made a massive difference, didn't it? Oh well, it is what it is, eh? Okay, I'll see you all soon for pack 65, guys.